The best thing about this piece, I believe, is that we're not trying to prove anyone right or wrong as much as we are simply trying to promote conversation, promote dialogue, and promote the desire to expand one's knowledge and hear a perspective that they might not have heard before. My favorite part of this piece is definitely the continued conversation between between daughter and father. And at the end, we get to see some bridges really forged between them thanks to this continued dialogue.
It was very interesting to be a fly on the wall in these conversations. Um, Most of them, feel like media is the enemy, Biden is ridiculous. They feel the riot was patriotic. And what's so interesting is the moments where he notes that some of them are channeling their mental health issues through politics. I mean, whoa. It really shows different sides, how they feel in regards to Trump's support or not. It shows the diehard political like supporter who, is maybe delusional in her support. It also shows the one that seems like he's going to go along with whatever sounds best at the moment. I don't like this, but why don't you like this? Well, I guess I like that. And it was very interesting seeing the flip flop. Then you have like the liberal versus the conservative and how, that exists within the family dynamic with the father and daughter. And, how do I support my daughter in her wants and needs as a woman, but also be on the side of my party? Very complex stuff. He does a great job moderating these conversations and seeing all sides in a not argumentative way, where they feel safe to express. I wanted to feel like I left this with a clear understanding of why the support for Trump is so like why people are so diehard for Trump. I really thought I would find that answer. I didn't. I did not. I didn't. I feel like I got no clear answer whatsoever.
It's very interesting to see how grown people really support blindly, and how it's always funny how maybe adults are thinking that kids are the problem and whatnot, and like being woke and all these things. But a lot of these things that they believe are not based in truth, are not based in facts. And they're just so blind to it that they don't see that. And so hearing them firsthand kind of contradict themselves constantly, yelling over each other, saying that things aren't true based on literally nothing. It's just always so fun to see. I think the interviewer throughout the whole thing, I think he did a great job. You can tell that he did his research, he had the facts, and he was ready to kind of battle these people, but also give them a platform to speak so that we can see how stupid they sound. I'm not gonna say they were all sounded stupid. You can tell that a lot of them did have conflicting views. Like, although they might have supported Trump, you could tell that if he asked about certain things like gay rights, and if he asked about, transgender people and whatnot, how they should go about their day. Like, there was the man with his daughter, and how a lot of the things that they did believe did coincide. It's just that he's very much stuck in his old ways. He's older. He grew up a certain way, and his daughter is aware of that. She's just very frustrated and upset that he can't see that. You can tell he wants to be progressive, but for some reason he can't get himself to be progressive. And that seems to be a lot of what their problems are. But it's also very interesting to see the people who are completely crazy and believe what they want to believe. You can't sway them. There's nothing you can say to them. And it's just very interesting to see, especially in this political climate, how despite everything Trump has done, these people are his undying supporters, even though he would literally never bat an eye their way, which I think is hysterical.
He clearly had a side and a bias to him, but I loved that he was calling out people who were contradicting themselves, calling out people who did not speak facts, people who were blindly following others. And Adam was, staying calm while interviewing them. He was a calm presence, a logical presence. He was bringing logic to the table and facts, and making people contradict themselves, go back on their words, and sometimes simply give up. So I appreciated that aspect. I loved that he was completely calm the entire time, even when faced with people, yelling in his face. I also liked when he would mediate between two people and ask both sides. So he wasn't just asking contradictory questions and calling out people who were on his side per se. He was asking those questions to both sides, having both people speak, which I appreciated. He let everyone be heard in this film, regardless of their views. So yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. I liked that he sided with people that were not on his side in a way, in order to get them to speak more on what they believe in and what they are following. So to get into these people's heads was really interesting, to sort of learn how they think and what brought them to believe in certain things that may seem outlandish to others.
It's really tough to watch the way that people yell at and talk over one another. But there were certain interviews that stood out to me. It almost gave me like a little bit of hope in having some of these conversations. So one of them that I found interesting to watch was hearing the former Trump supporter talk, because after speaking to the interviewer, he seemed to change his opinion so easily, which was kind of refreshing, because I feel like most people are very close-minded. But after he was pointed out certain things, he actually was able to open his mind and kind of easily be like, yeah, you're right about that. So that was interesting. And then another part was like the daughter and father disagreeing. There's almost hope in the parts that they do agree on, and just their the way that they just agree to love each other anyway, despite their differences in opinion.
A very ugly look into what I personally believe is the problem with America right now. It was very hard to watch, in the sense that you can really see just how polarizing these two factions are. We've become so diluted in this tribal mentality that we are no longer willing to listen to the other side. My side has to be right. Your side is wrong. If you don't agree with me, you're the enemy. The mother and the father, because even though they were on two separate sides, I liked that through the conversation, there were many times where they pointed out, hey, we agree on the same thing. You just said you agree with something I agree with. So how does that make us different? Because that's the biggest thing I feel like we've forgotten, is that it's not as simple as Team A or Team B. There are many issues in the world, and we have a wide range of opinions on said issues and how to handle said issues. You might agree with someone from the opposite team on certain issues, but we'll never know that because we don't want to talk to the other team because they're the enemy.
Clearly got a viewpoint he's coming from, so it's not exactly unbiased journalism. But it's still really interesting that he's making the effort to get out there and talk to folks, seeing what people on both sides think is always very interesting. So, really cool graphics too, really nice pacing in this piece there. So, I'd be interested to see, if there's more of this, if this is a series, where we're going to go and where we're going to land, what his viewpoint's going to be, what the viewpoints of the folks that he's going to talk to are.
I thought this was a quite unique approach in the film, and it was fascinating to see the different takes and aspects and sides to the story and how it all comes together. I liked how the story was inclusive and allowed for all backgrounds to come in and view their points.